Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I'm here with the F brand cars, and I'm going to showcase a few of the better F brand cars as far as live racing is concerned. In order to keep the video somewhat short, I am not going to go into details on tunes and aspects like that. If you want to figure out how to tune these cars, I'm putting out a tuning series of videos which will be updated with part 3 soon, and that will give you a better idea how to tune these cars. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and do some live racing with these cars just to go ahead and see what's good in the F brands. Now, obviously, this is a bot that I'm racing, and I'm doing this on purpose because it can allow me to get a quick chunk of RP, lower the overall average of the car, and get a good, easy win in. Plus, it gives me a better feel for how my car is running. All right, now with these flip car tunes, it can both be high evo and down tuned on top. So the flip car can both beat Dyno and maintain super high evo, making it a very good car in live racing. Is it bumpable? Absolutely. Is it going to beat everything out there? Not without severe down tune, but you don't really need it to be competitive in live because the car lobbies very well. Because of the low performance point high evo, it already lobbies against other cars well and can beat most of the cars that are in its lobby. Now, sometimes you have to push a car a little bit just to guarantee a win, but generally speaking, this car won't have too difficult a time beating most opponents. Here we're taking on the PC car, the 911 GT3 RS, the Visek package, or in my case, the We Suck package. Not to say the car won't be good, but the package Porsche is not going to easily take down the flip car. All right, so again, I can slow down a bit at the end, control the run, and get the win. So one bot, one player. Let's move on to the next car. The problem with Ferraris and Fords, the honest truth is that most of them are no longer that great in live. In fact, some of them are pretty bad. Most of the Ferraris used to be competitive. Now, I would say 90% of them are not. All right, so from the Ferrari side, unfortunately, the good cars are mostly the cars that you won't have access to. For example, the SF90, which is a flash car, is still good in live, but pretty much all the regular Ferraris are now mediocre at best. And that includes the A12 Superfast, which at one time was quite the car to use, but now, unfortunately, it's not so good. This particular car, the SF90, is also relatively high evo, mediocre on the performance points, but it seems to lobby well in general, which gives it an edge when it comes to being able to actually stay ahead of most opponents in its class. This is also pushing the car a bit, but you can slow down a little usually and still pull a win. Control is always the key with cars like this, but the SF90 is able to take on tier 4 cars like the Corvette C8, which actually is quite good in live. I'm getting challenged again. Stray Savage wasn't too satisfied with that run, decides to take me on again. I am not running swap symbols for this video. I am just here to win and then move on to the next car. So 2 runs, I will take him on, no problem, and I will try to win because, again, that's why I'm here with this car. Now, again, he's pushing a little harder this time, and I'm keeping it tight as before, but again, I'm controlling my car to get the win. 10.026 against a 10.075. All right, so that's the SF90, which if you push it all the way through, actually would be a 9.9 car. It actually dynos around 9.9 with the way I have it set up, but it's in the 10.0, 10.1 lobby where it's generally competitive. Is it a lobby killer? No. Is it competitive? Yes. Okay, moving right along. The old LaFerrari Aperta. Now, this one isn't perfect, and I can't tune it into the slower lobbies to be competitive, but it does all right in the 7.7 lobby. Not great, not always going to win, but it does okay. The problem is that it also easily bumps into hyper, so it's kind of a tricky car to really use. long term, but here and there you might be able to get still a competitive run out of it. I'm not sure if I'm still even in a competitive lobby, so let's take someone on and find out. The Aperta is an older car from the Ferrari event from years ago. It's just not available to players now, so showcasing it really doesn't do that much in the grand scheme of things. Okay, I was refused. Let me take a bot run, and then I'll see if it changes my lobby. Let's take a bot run. Then we'll see if it changes lobby to a slower lobby, because riding the edge is always risky. Okay, and this car is riding the lobby edge. Now, Dyno's around a 7.7 something, I believe. I'll find out in a second if I totally remembered it wrong, because I'm not dynoing these cars before I run them. The thing about the Aperta, which is interesting, is the slower you start off the nitrous, the better. You actually don't want to use it in second gear. It's more like a fifth gear nitrous car. And it actually beats Dyno that way. Now, I ran really slow because the bot won't run fast, but that should lower my average. So I'm going to jump out, jump back in lobby, see if I can squeeze out more wins out of this car. For showcase purposes, I'm not going to do multiple runs, but we'll go ahead and do another one. But again, so far these Ferraris are not Ferraris you can even get anymore. So, you know, it's the showcase itself isn't all that interesting. That's part of the reason why I put off making the F car ones for so long, is because I don't feel it's really that great, because you're not really getting a car showcase that can actually do much. So now this lobby, I can tell, is definitely 7.69 to 7.0, 7.7, because these cars barely run 7.7 and they dyno around 7.6 something. The problem with this lobby, of course, is almost everything in here will run 7.6, 7.5s. So it makes it pretty hard for you to be competitive, even if your LaFerrari Aperta can run low 7.7s. So the only opponents I can really challenge are the ones that are driving these Porsches, and even then, it's going to be a rough race. Cars that can go faster than 7.7, this one's pretty close to 7.7 as well, so I may have a chance here with this Veyron. But you got to understand, you're not going to take down the F1s in this lobby. At least most of the time you will not. Now with this one, the difference is I'm using nitrous in fifth. Oh, he disconnected. Alright, well, I'm going to slow down then. No point to run my car too hard if I already won. Okay, opponent disconnected. That's a shame. Alright, well, 3 points. I mean, I guess I can't complain. And I get to win with a slower run, which always helps my car, so I can't complain there either. Alright, so let me see. I'm not looking to race swappers, mainly because I'm not here to swap. Swap. Well, this is a swap lobby. I mean, I shouldn't expect. Holy smoke! Now, this car probably can run under 7.7 lobby because it beats Dyno. So depending on how it's actually tuned. Oh, holy smoke! It's also a swapper. Holy smoke! Doesn't want to race me. Okay, so anyway, it's all swapping in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and move on. But the LaFerrari Aperta, again, viable in the lobby because it does beat Dyno a little bit, and it's already near fully maxed here, so it's not going to, you know, it doesn't really move that much at this point. Okay, let's go to the next car, which is another one that I like, but you cannot get anymore, and that is the F12 Berlinetta Anniversary. Remember, the F12 Berlinetta itself is a good dyno beating car, and when you bring that to the next level, because this car can run as fast as 8.1 on an 8.9 dyno, you are now putting the car in a class where it is quite competitive against opponents. Now, I've already bumped this car. I'm not too worried about that, but you know, F12s are known to bump easily nowadays, but this one is far more competitive than the regular F12 and carries far more Evo, even with its tune. Much like the regular one, it is a launch around 7K instant nitrous, and then we basically, whoops, slow down, too much there, it's okay. You basically slow down at the end if you don't want to bump the car, but obviously 8.9 dyno, I'm already running 8.6 opponents. I know this car bumps up slowly but surely, If I run all out, of course, it's an 8.1 car. So it's a matter of control. Let me, wow, he's busy. Let me find someone else and actually don't slow down as much and win this. So again, it's competitive. It'll win. It'll need to be reset now and then, but it's not a terrible car at all. In fact, it's one of my more favorite cars to use because of its controllability and its capabilities of beating Dyno by quite a bit and lobbying pretty favorably, despite being an F12. Okay, all right, I can't. All right, Big Lenny. Big Lenny will race me, I'm sure. All right, thank you, Big Lenny. All right, so I lost one because I sandbagged a little too much. This time I'll sandbag a little bit less and just, take the chance of further bumps for what it is. Okay, so 4, 5. Once you get a 5th gear, you're really hauling ass. And then I can just slow down a little bit. And there it is. Easy win. Way ahead. What do we do? 8.595. Big Lenny ran an 8.994. So that Supra might be actually 8.7, 8.8. Dyno running 8.6s because they can do that. But again, the F12 can easily handle that as well here. Okay, let's go ahead and move on because life is short and the car list is long, right? Problem with Ferraris, once I get past these 3 or 4, these 3 more or less, you're now starting to go towards the not so good Ferraris. Not to say all these are now useless, but most of them are. This one used to be a dyno beating and efficient car in live, but now because of the high performance point, lower evo to get the dyno beating tune, it is no longer usable without being bumped very quickly. These guys are the same way. You used to see them in live quite often, but not anymore for the same reason. A12 super fast. Okay, same problem. Used to be a good live racer, but because of the lower evo points nowadays and the way the bump system work, it is no longer viable. However, the Ferrari FXXK is still viable as a live racer with very specific tuning to get as high evo as possible at a given performance point of 665, which by keeping it under 674 and keeping the evo points high enough, you can still make it into a viable live lobby, but you are facing some very good T4 cars when you do that, and therefore you will likely lose. Now, if they're running a dyno buster car, and this car is quite capable of busting dyno if it's set up right, it'll be lower evo, but it'll run pretty good, and you may have some issues. But let's go ahead and run them and see what happens. Okay, the FXK drives funny just like the F12. It has a weird launch where you have to launch it slightly differently. I'm watching him come up. Yeah, he kind of, I think I should have shifted into 7th a little earlier. Let me see what I did there. 10.95. Yeah, probably could have taken him. I think the fastest I can push this car is like a 10.7, 7.8. I can't remember because I literally jumped into live with it without further testing. So let's take on another opponent that's real hard in any lobby, and that's the NSXR. This one looks like Elite upgraded. That makes it worse. Okay, but this time I'm not going to let it hit red line in any gear. I'm just going to push the car all the way through. All right, here we go. All right, so all deep good shifts, but you don't want any red lines, and you're just going to push the car to 7th and all the way through to the end. Bam. Even the NSXR can go down to this car because it does run under dyno. All right, 10.805. I can't do 10.7s, but maybe 10.7 if I shift it a little better. But again, competitive in this lobby to a point. Easily pushed into higher lobbies if you keep pushing it that hard, because ultimately the dyno is not really that high. I think I'm running like a 11.1 dyno. I'll go back and actually dyno this car for you just to show you what it dynos. So while it's a winnable car, 10.967 is not too bad. So while it's winnable car, it's a little bit less performance advantaged car in live because it doesn't really get a lobby advantage. It's purely an okay lobbying car that can beat some things in the lobby, right? So again, good car, but not a killer car like it used to be. Here's the other one, set up differently, same concept. Now I have the FA Spider here fully maxed. It's used in the showdown, but again, I don't see any of the rest of these being all that great in live racing. The Evo, FXXK Evo, can be set up to beat Dyno, but again, any car that's set up to beat Dyno like this, with that high performance point and that low Evo, nowadays would not be very long-lasting in the lobby if you race people. Okay, we'll take a run with it. Maybe I'll win. I'll beat Dyno, I'll win, but again, I'm going to get bumped if it's not already bumped. So again, another car that's it's okay, but I feel like it's kind of mediocre at best. And you're facing all these guys who are super high Evo. So yes, you can beat them up, maybe even on a 200K bet, but you're just not going to have long-term viability with this car. Okay, let me see. Let's, oh, I should have clicked on somebody earlier. Now everybody's busy. Let me see. I'll find somebody to race. Okay. Wow, nobody? Seriously. This is pretty bad. Okay, well, let's do a lobby jump. See if I can find somebody. This car beats Dyno by probably half a second or so. So it's same lobby. Let's just take NSXR. So the answer is yes, you can beat them. The problem is, do this enough times, you're constantly going to have to reset this car. It's, you know, again, it's a Dyno Buster, but it's just not as good. And because the matchmaking now is set up to punish cars just like this, because Natural Motion doesn't want you to break Dyno and take people's money with Dyno Busters without getting pushed into a higher lobby. So that's what they're doing. Okay, I try to slow down a bit, keep the car winning, but not totally killing the car in one shot. All right, now I can tell you the Dyno's way slower than that. I mean, this car, I think Dyno's 10.2, and I'm running like a 9.6 to win. So I'm running way too fast for my Dyno itself. So yes, you can win, but the FXXK Evo again isn't running as close to its Dyno as the regular FXXK to be able to win. Now let me show you the Dyno just so we kind of confirm what I was saying. 10.128. Okay, so yes, it can run much faster than Dyno because I have it set up that way, but nonetheless, not a stable car, and certainly not one I use much because of that situation. Okay, very low mileage on it. And that's also, it's gray. I just don't tend to race gray cars that much. Okay, now the rest of these, are they even worth building? Some people will tell you yes. I mean, this one you tend to build as new player anyway, but the rest of these, my answer to that is only if you have to. Okay, if you have no other choice, sure, you can build them, but none of them are really all that great in live nowadays. Now let's talk about Fords. Now Ford's an interesting brand. One is that you can get Ford Fusions pretty easily. It does have some nice cars, but overall Ford is just one of those brands that I'm having difficult time getting anywhere with in live. Not because the cars are terrible, they're good. It's just that every one of them that can down tune, and they all can to some degree, or beat Dyno like this Roush Stage 3 Mustang would. The problem is none of them carry super high Evo at any given performance point, and therefore the current matchmaking basically makes Fords not obsolete, but not very competitive. And that's a big problem if you like Fords and you want to use them, right? So here we go again. In the slower lobbies, you're facing cars like this, which are super efficient and carry very high Evo, has a lobby advantage, and can beat Dyno. What are you going to do, right? I mean, you're just going to have a hard time with them. And the Roush, as good as it is, may not even win against one. So but on the other hand, the Roush Mustang does also beat Dyno the way it's set up automatically, it's just going to be real hard. You got to push it to win. And if you push it to win, you can come into lobby, win like 10, 15 times, leave lobby, and boom, you're in a faster lobby. That's the issue. Okay. But out of all the Mustangs right now, I would say the Roush is definitely one of the better ones when it comes to actually being competitive. Now, that aside, what about the Cobra Jet? Well, the Cobra Jet, I was given actually a tune that is a Dyno Buster tune. So I need to put the credit here for the person that gave me the tune. I never really liked the Cobra Jet tune for any tune because it kind of drives funny for me, but in this case, if I can launch it right, this is a car that'll run substantially under dyno. The problem I found is that I'm already bumped into some lobby with it. I don't know how I did it, but it doesn't seem to be doing well with the matchmaking. It could be I bumped it when I had some other tune on it. I'm not sure what it is, but it just, it's been a problem matchmaking where it can stay competitive. So I'm going to run it once here to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I think I may not have launched it right, or I did nitrous wrong, but it definitely runs slightly under even when I screw everything up, and it can run pretty decently under if you do it just right. But in any case, let's go into live lobby, and you'll see I'm already matched against cars that I have a hard time beating. So reset would be in order for me to get this car anywhere. And then we'll take a look at the Ford GTs, which all beat dyno, but the problem is all of them have pretty rough time getting good matchmaking going on. All right, so F5 is going to probably trash me because this is one of those cars that really runs very well in any lobby because of low performance point, high evo. The good news is that it's very hard to beat dyno with the F5. So chances are that F5 is just running off of its lobby advantage and not because it is actually tuned dyno-wise much faster than my car. But as you can see, I can't even, all right, well, I ran really bad, but probably should not have jumped out of the gear so fast. Yeah, I could have beat him. But let's race him again. I forgot what I did wrong there. I think probably needed to jump out of gear. Wow, he went all in. All right. I don't like to take people's all in, especially when they're rank 1 without a whole lot of money. If I'm ahead at the very, very end, maybe I'll try to slow down, but I just don't know if he's going to trash me or not. And in this case, probably not. So I'll slow down, take your all in. All right, but I'm going to beat him that round, okay? Because we saw they can run 9.6. Okay, now, that's a courtesy 50K, okay? I hope you appreciate that. Because when you bet all in on somebody who lost the first round bad, it's not because necessarily their card completely sucks. Okay. All right, so let's move on. I'm going to pause real quick. You can add some gas. I tend to freeze when I add gas, so let me pause it, and then we'll come back. All right, we are back with gas filled and ready to roll. Just as a thank you to the player who gave me this particular setup, it is Flying Sea Guy from YouTube, who's also a player in the game. So I do want to give him a quick shout out that he gave me this particular setup because in the game he's Corey Guidish. All right, thank you, Corey, for that. Let's move on to the next Ford, and that is the 2019 GT Heritage Edition. This car again is a dyno buster. Not by a huge amount. Again, I don't set up cars to beat by a huge amount. I just want to beat enough to be able to win. But at the same time, though, with the only 1,000, slightly over 1,000 Evo and almost 705 performance point, you can win, but you're not gonna do well for too long. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we can do here. What do we got? Again, I'm trying to race somebody who's not necessarily a swapper and not necessarily too new at this. But I mean, Supras are pretty good in this, so let's go ahead and race a Supra. See how I do first. Again, I haven't used this car in a while, so hopefully it's not bumped. Let's see what happens. But you know, it's tuned by about 300 Evo points. Whoa, what did I do wrong here? Woo! Okay, I didn't expect the gears to go that quick. That kind of surprised me, actually. So this might not work out well because I kind of screwed up. I kind of screwed up that one pretty good. Okay, hold on. Let's go ahead and go back out. All right. Wow, that was some fast shifts that I didn't expect. Let's go back and try that again. All right. Oh, now I know this player has always pretty down-tuned cars that are competitive, so I'm not expecting this one's going to work out well for me either, but at least I know that I can shift quickly, okay, and push the car right out to the gear. Let's see, he'll probably catch up near the end at least. Yeah, it's close. All right. Woo, okay, won that one. But Melon usually has good tunes on his cars. 10.018, I did a 9.954. But don't forget, I showed you earlier my dyno is like a, wait, no, I did not show you, but my dyno is actually a 10.28. So I'm beating dyno by almost like 3/10 to pull this off, which is bad, okay? Because then if I'm in the lobby with 10.0 cars, soon I'll be in lobby with 9.8 cars, and then I won't win. But let's go ahead and take maybe one more attack run here and see. Ooh, another F1. These F1s are tough. They're tough. They're going to push me. They have a lobby advantage. They probably dyno 10.3, you know, or 9.9, I should say. Should not 10.3, but they could dyno 9.9 and end up in that lobby anyway. Okay, so we'll have to. Wow, again, some crazy fast shifts on that one. Now, he's probably going to catch me, though. He's already far enough along here, and he tried to slow down. So that car is down-tuned, and he knows it. He knows he's running too quick, okay? So I pushed him. Oh, he gave it to me. Slowed down a little too much there. Okay, but he knew that he was running really fast, and it's probably not a great idea, so he tried to slow down. Look at the mile per hour, and that's how I ended up passing him. So, you know, we're talking cars that are pushing. It's also possible, since I leveled up and couldn't see any rechallenge, that he was going to rechallenge me and maybe try to do something like a swap. But again, he didn't have any swap symbols as far as I can tell. So, yeah, no swap symbols as far as I can tell, unless that's a swap symbol, which it doesn't look like it. It's Go, right? Goat. That's his name, Goat. All right, so enough of that. Let me show you. I probably already bumped myself, so let me go out, go back in. Let's see if we get the same people. I doubt it. In 1-2 races, it's kind of hard to just instantly kill your car that quick. But the lobby matchmaking has been less than friendly nowadays. Okay, so am I seeing the same cars or not? If I don't, then it's a problem. If I do, I'm still seeing the same cars. So I'm still going to be survivable here for a few more rounds. Okay, now, all right. That was the Heritage GT Edition. I mean, GT Heritage Edition. And that kind of brings us to pretty much all the Fords that I have, that I know you can mess with and easily get away with. Now, this guy here is good too. Dyno Beater, but mine's already bumped. I'm not going to showcase it simply because it's kind of hard to showcase without resetting it first, and I did not get a chance to reset it. And then you got these guys. There's a video I made of the Dirty 30 going out there and ruining people's good time because it's a dyno buster. But again, these two guys, not as much of a dyno buster. Not to say they can't win some places, but not easy to set up. So that kind of brings us through the F brands right here. And there's one Fast and Furious Ford Mustang that I guess I'll take into live and try. I forgot what it is about the nitrous with this car. I believe it's a late nitrous car. You know what? I better run it once on dyno so I don't totally embarrass myself. 10.6. Let's give it a shot. This is a Fast and Furious car. So again, if you didn't buy it then, you probably don't have it now, and you probably can't get it. Not unless they offer it again, which Natural Motion does do that. They'll offer you a chance to have the same car over and over again. Um, so I remember it was late nitrous, but I could be wrong. So let's run it and see. All right, 10.3 on a 10.6, or 10.4 on a 10.6, I should say. So a little bit of dyno beating right here, right? The question is whether it's going to lobby well, and 10.6 is not a great lobby. It's little tricky. So I'm not one of my favorite lobbies to be in, because a lot of the tier 4s that can run 10.6s will actually roll out around 10.4 in there anyway. And then you also have your problems with your lobby not being as advantageous, and overall being a huge mess for you when you try to push the car. So this is where racing someone who may not be as experienced in tune as well, or hasn't built a car, may be helpful. Okay, so let me see if I can beat him. I'm not holding my breath on this. Supra has naturally beat Dyno too. And in these slower lobbies, people tend to beat Dyno by a lot more because they can do that. They can tune their car to really beat Dyno by a huge amount, and therefore give you a hell of a hard time. Now, he's way back there. I don't know what's going on here. So I am going to slow down and do 11. Wow. That's highly unexpected. I mean, this Ford it's okay, but it's not that great. Okay, it's not like Super Ford. This is not the Superman of Mustangs or anything. So let's see. Let's take on a much harder opponent. These guys. Okay. Now, fortunately, this is not the Purple Star version, because that one, that NSX, I think it's LB or it's M Gang Purple. Oh man, that car lobby's good, and it whoops me in most of the lobbies that I've. Oh no, I hit nitrous too early. Ah, please don't lose. Please don't embarrass me. Oh, looks like I'm gonna lose. Oh, I embarrassed myself. Oh man, that sucks. Okay. All right. Talking too much. I was thinking nitrous too early. Yeah, see, I could beat that, but again, I have to really push myself to do it, and I may not beat it anyway. I'll challenge him again. Maybe next time he'll run like a 10.3 or something and really whoop me. But 10.44. Oh, wait, did he just disappear? I think he jumped out and back in. Okay, I'll take it out on another Supra, I hope. This is my final run for this video. I think we pretty much covered the F brand. And again, at this point in the game, F brands are kind of meh. I'm really not excited about it. I don't even, really look for any Ferraris. When they come in, I just kind of evaluate it briefly and go, it's good. It's okay. And then at the end, I don't really want to drive them. The SF90 is a cool car and all, but again, it is a pretty decent live racer. But overall, they're just better choices out there in other brands. So all the F brand cars now are still quite. Speaking of which, while we're on this live racing topic, I need to address this. Okay, everybody's doing showdowns nowadays, and they forget to do live. Well, that's a big mistake, because one thing Showdown does not seem to want to give you are silver keys. You can get 2 sets of silver keys easily per day by winning in live. And those silver keys are invaluable for you to get those PC cars every season. And if all you do are showdowns, you'll notice your silver key accounts won't go up as much as if you actually do your daily 30 wins in live. So don't give up on those live races. And this is why I'm doing this showcase of cars with all brands, because you will want to have at least one decent live racer so you can keep getting your 20 silver keys. 20 a day over the span of a season is easily 4 or 5 chances at the PC car per season just from live racing. Right? So don't give up on the silver keys, but again, understand you only get them once every 7.5 hours. And unless you're dedicated to playing every 7.5 hours, you usually get about 2 sets of keys a day. If you play once in the morning, once at night, something like that. All right. So that was part of the final tip there about making sure you still do live. So that, my friends, are the F brand cars that I think are still decent in live. As you can see, I'm not too enthusiastic about this brand. Both Ford and Ferrari have really kind of gone downhill due to the matchmaking changes. But the Cobra Jet, some of the Ferraris are still, again, pretty good. And in the F brands, the flip car, Fast and Furious flip car, is still a monster. So that is definitely a great live car and certainly dominates various lobbies. All right. Let me know if you have any comments or thoughts regarding this. Any questions about a particular car that I didn't cover, you can ask me, but if I didn't cover it, chances are I won't have a lot of positives to say about it. If you have a particular car you think is a killer in live and I totally missed it because, Max, you didn't tune in, you don't know what you're talking about, let me know. I like to learn something new anytime and every time. So tell me about it and show me what it can do. And maybe we'll meet up in live and test it out. Make sure that we're on the same page with that particular car. If you like my videos, leave a like. If you dislike, hey, as they say, you're not a big YouTuber until people dislike you. But please subscribe, hit the bell, get notifications when I put up new videos. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.